1480 WHBC. Tune in every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. A better way forward. Together.
Live from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight.
And welcome back to Spotlight on this wonderful Wednesday. And we appreciate you joining us. Of course, as I mentioned, we always love to chat about things around our area that are important to us. And today we're going to be talking with the folks from Tuscarawas County Convention and Visitors Bureau. And we have the tour manager, the group tour manager, Julie Levengood with us. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning, Pam. How are you?
I'm doing great, great. And as soon as she's set free from a board meeting, we will have Dee Grossman, who's the director of the CVB. So she'll be joining us here in just a little bit. But let's get started and talk a little bit about you. First of all, give us a little background about you.
Well, so I've been at the CVB here probably about, I want to say around 8 years. And I specialize in group tours and reunion groups and any kind of motor coach group you might see coming into the area. We really reach out to them and welcome them into our county. And, it's more than that, all visitors. We love having visitors here. But yeah, so I started here after a long time in accounting. So it's a big switch from accounting to tourism. But it's been fabulous, and we have a great community. So it's really easy to sell this area to our guests.
Yeah, I was going to say, boy, what a fun job. And then you said, yes. I came from accounting.
Yeah, it's a big switch. And it's a fantastic job. I get to travel all over to recommend people to come visit our area, and we sell Tuscarawas County, but we sell the surrounding area as well. We're a great destination, and we really like to emphasize that to our travelers. You don't have to, we're not like a big city, and that's so appealing to so many people. We are a really affordable place to visit, very family friendly, and we take great pride in that.
Yes, I was a long time resident of Tuscarawas County, 20 years or so, and I have had many a friend and relative come to visit who absolutely love what they've seen and then come back. I've actually even bought Christmas, like gift certificates for stays at different places and things like that for Christmas, just because people, really, really enjoy it. And it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from Stark County, obviously. And so there's so much to see.
There really is. And, when I sit down at some of these travel shows, I have anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes to sell the county. We have a lot of stuff to cover, so I usually try and say, okay, what are your groups interested in? What are your reunion group? We get a lot of family reunions. We're a wedding destination as well. What do your people want to see? What are they interested in? And, we have everything from, great train museums. We've got 2 National Historic Landmarks. We've got a lot of wineries and breweries, kind of that gateway to Amish country. So much unique and, just wonderful places to visit, outdoor rec. There's just a lot to sell. So 7 minutes usually isn't enough time, but it's enough to get them interested and get them up here for a visit.
And I know year round it's very, very busy, but is the fall time a little busier for you guys?
Yeah, fall definitely tends to be busy. First of all, it's cooler. The leaves, anyone who drives up and down 77, they see the trees. It's beautiful. You go for a hike. It's nice and cool. It's comfortable again. I am not a summer person, so I am welcoming fall, and I can't wait for winter and snow. Not everybody agrees with me on that one, but sorry.
No, I do. I love a change of season. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And that's something, not every place gets to experience. I deal a lot with southern states and southern operators, and not every place gets the different changes of season like we do, and such drastic changes. So fall is definitely a time when we see a lot more activity, especially going out towards Amish country. But just really even our historical sites, there's just so much going on. And, this is such a huge football area. So, we got Friday Night Lights coming up. I think it starts this week. So, we're ready. We're ready to kick off fall.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening in Tuscarawas County. What kind of things would you like to highlight? I mean, there's a lot. It's the 250 celebration, right?
Oh, we've got that going on. That's just going to be such a monumental year. I know a lot of people remember the bicentennial. Now we have the semi-quincentennial, which is not an easy word to say. We've really had to learn that. But there's going to be a lot going on. Our big event that's happening in our area is going to be next April. And that's going to be part of the transportation celebration. And that is going to be the Buckeye train ride. And that's happening from Columbus to the Denison Depot Museum. That is one of our National Historic Landmarks. And this train ride is going to be about a 4-hour train ride from Columbus to Denison. And when you get off the train in Denison, you are going to be in the middle of a whole transportation celebration. There are going to be flyovers. There's going to be a car show, food trucks. It's really just that celebration. And then after your layover, you'll get back on the train and you'll head back to Columbus. And then the next day you'll come from Newark up. If you don't want such a long train ride, you can ride from Newark. And then the same thing, you'll have a layover and then back to Newark. So that's really one of the signature events that's happening next year for America 250. It's an Ohio signature event. So it's really a big deal, but it's really going to be this huge celebration.
And I would imagine so many people will want to take advantage of that. Train rides, people love that.
Yeah. And if you can't make it for that train ride, because that's going to be April 25th and 26th, the depot is going to have train rides periodically throughout the year. So we're really excited. There's some fall train rides for 26th. Then you can also, if you're really interested in trains, we've got the Age of Steam Roundhouse, and they're going to have some different events and festivals. They have a home front to war front, kind of in conjunction with the Denison Depot. They're doing their own signature event where you're going to celebrate the Ohio Goes to the Movies. One of their trains is actually featured in a movie, so they're going to show that movie. So there's a lot going on, but the state as a whole is doing this major celebration. And so they have themed out every month. We've got 1 month that's about homecomings and picnics. We might have another month that's about, aviation and air and space. Ohio is such a great hotbed for that. We have Neil Armstrong. We've had, John Glenn, really significant people in the history of our country. And it's great that they're Ohio people as well. So, April is Transportation Month. I encourage everyone to, go and find the activities that are going on in their communities, but definitely come down to Tuscarawas County. We've got a lot, that's going to be happening there. Ohio's launching some new trails. There's a creativity trail that's already out. The Lake Erie to Ohio River Trail has just been announced, and they've got a couple more that are going to be in the works. They haven't announced them yet. So they're coming, they're happening, but really just this great big celebration for our area.
And there's going to be a special website. Will you guys have a special 250 website?
Yes. So our regular website is traveltusc.com. So it's the word travel, TUSC.com. This is going to be Travel Tusc 250. It's going to be getting launched here, I believe, in the next few weeks. And it's going to have solely America 250 related events. So we already have events listed on our website, but this is going to be focusing on those America 250 events, because some people are going to say, okay, how can I be a part of it? What can I do to be part of that? And they'll be able to go to the website and find out.
That's great. And if they wanted to participate in the train ride too, getting tickets and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. There'll be links to that. We'll have that on our regular website as well. We're always posting anything new and exciting that's going to be going on. We're going to have that, on our Facebook page. Yeah, that's a shot down there by the Denison Depot. One of our trains. That's a new mural that's actually on the building kind of behind the Denison Depot. We're very excited about that celebration. We're just excited in general. These things don't happen all the time. We look at the bicentennial, great things happened in 76. Now we're going to be able to talk about our own celebration, that 250 happening in 26.
All right. So we're going to take our first break. And I believe when we come back, we'll have Dee with us and we'll talk more about all the wonderful things happening in Tuscarawas County as we chat with the folks from the Tuscarawas County Convention and Visitors Bureau on Spotlight right here on 1480 WHBC.
The Saturday Morning Huddle returns to the WHBC YouTube channel and Facebook Live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. We'll have highlights, coach and player interviews, analysis, and much more.
Kenny Rhoda and John Bazika help you get caught up on Friday night high school football action on the Saturday Morning Huddle, 10 a.m. on the WHBC YouTube channel and live on Facebook.
The Saturday Morning Huddle is presented by Marianne Donuts, D-Hoff Realtor Ty Colucci, Akron Auto Auction, Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration LLC, and Community One Credit Union. Subscribe now to our YouTube channel and don't miss a minute. Watch it live or on demand.
Discover the unexpected in Tuscarawas County, Ohio, the other side of Amish country. From sipping local wines to exploring historic sites, we're full of surprises. Experience charming train rides, delicious local flavors, and outdoor adventures that'll create unforgettable memories. Whether you're touring local wineries or stepping back in time, there's something here for everyone. Start planning your perfect getaway at TravelTusc.com.
Step into history at the Great Trail Festival this weekend. See artisans and crafters demonstrating their skills and offering their wares. Savory kettle-cooked foods, live music with show fiddlers, clog dancing, Scottish pipers, and the TP Village are the hallmark of a Great Trail Festival. 2 special weekends on August 23rd and 24th, August 30th and 31st, and September 1st from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on State Route 43, just 18 miles south of Canton at Malvern, Ohio. Visit GreatTrailFestival.com.
Start healing sooner. When you need surgery, we're here for you. Here to help you put aside the excuses so you don't put off the surgery you need any longer. Altman is here with more board-certified surgeons in more locations close to home. State-of-the-art robot-assisted surgeries, along with a wide scope of surgical procedures and treatments. All here for you. And all here at Altman.
Time is ticking and your dream home's waiting. This is Steve Struckle, mortgage loan originator at the Commercial and Savings Bank. We understand that buying a home can be overwhelming, but with CSB, it's easier than ever. We offer a range of options, whether you're looking to buy, build, refinance, or improve your home. Our mortgage lenders will guide you every step of the way. Visit our website at csb1.com to apply online today and turn your dream into reality. The Commercial and Savings Bank, where homeownership begins. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, sports fans, looking for one thing that doesn't require a lot of effort to get a big payoff? Look no further than Sugardale. Whether it's perfectly smoked bacon, juicy ham, or mouth-watering hot dogs, gives you those tailgating vibes. Sugardale's done the hard work for you. They know anything worth doing is worth doing right, so Sugardale expertly smokes, seasons, and cures their meats right here in Stark County. It's simple. Just head into your local retailer, reach for the package with the red oval, and leave the hard work to Sugardale.
You're great at protecting your own personal information. You probably even use things like two-factor authentication, strong passwords, VPN. But as much as you try to be in control of how your information is protected, there's lots of places that also have it. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every single second for identity threats. If your identity is stolen, a LifeLock specialist is going to help solve the identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% off your first year with a promo code Beck at lifelock.com. Terms.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems like snoring, aches and pains, hot sleep, or even an old saggy mattress that can keep you up at night. And our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And again, welcome back to this Wednesday edition of Spotlight here on 1480 WHBC. And of course, you are live on Facebook and also on our YouTube channel if you want to check us out there. And hello, we're going to welcome in Julie Levengood, that was with us for the first portion. And Dee Grossman is now here with us. Dee is the director of the Tuscarawas County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Hi, Dee.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody on this beautiful morning?
We are doing fine and glad that you could join us this morning. We've been talking about just so many wonderful things. And as I told Julie, I was a longtime longtime resident of Tuscarawas County. And I had a lot of visitors come, family and friends, always wanting to do things. And many times I got Christmas presents for them that would allow them to come and stay and do things. And so it's always been a lot of fun and close to my heart for sure. But talk a little bit about yourself. I had Julie kind of explain how she got into the business from accounting, no less. But what is your whole history here?
Oh, we don't have that much time, do we, Pam? I mean, my background is in marketing and advertising. I actually started this position in July of 1986. So I'm actually on my 40th year.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems like only yesterday. And I kind of took this job until I could find a better job. And that was 40 years ago. So it's really turned into what I never thought it would have been. And that was a career in travel and tourism. Since then, I've gotten a bachelor's degree in business and a master's degree in journalism and public relations. But we've seen so many changes in the industry, even in the short 10 or 15 years or so. Not only technology changes, but our visitors, their personalities have changed, their desires have changed. They want more experiences. 20, 30 years ago, the kids would all pile in the car and you'd go to the Grand Canyon for 2 weeks and you'd be driving, and that's great. But no one really has 2 weeks anymore. If we're lucky, we get folks for a long weekend, 4 days. I was just in a board meeting this morning, our Convention and Visitors Bureau board meeting, and we were talking about how weddings have changed. There's only 52 or so Saturdays in the whole year. We've got a wedding tomorrow, which is a Thursday. Yeah, and they leave on Saturday morning. And so the next set of weddings then would come in on Saturday. But our wedding venues, we've got so many of them down here, and they're booked almost every day during the week. And the typical weddings used to be June, July, August. We've got weddings into January again, because people want that venue, that housey, a barn-like look. But they don't always get to pick a Saturday or even a Friday or even a Sunday afternoon. So they're getting married during the week. And that's really okay.
Yeah. And Mother Nature sure makes it for a beautiful scenery, right?
It does. It does. And we've had some pretty spectacular weather down here. We did get some rain last night, some very much needed rain. And I know Julie will appreciate this, but starting next week, the temperatures are going to drop into the 70s with night times in the 50s with low dew points. She and I do not handle heat very well, particularly dew points. So
I've already shared my love of snow, and
I don't quite share that. I don't quite share that love, but okay.
I asked her if she was all right. Everything was okay.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to be a little not all right to be in travel and tourism, because you deal with so many different people, both from the visitor perspective and the partner perspective. So you've got all these museum folks and attraction folks and hotel motel folks and short-term rental folks. And then you have to balance that with the people that call up wanting something that you don't have. And so you have to figure out what you can sell to them that you do have that will make them happy. So it's every day is a brand new day.
And that's
we've really
great.
gotten creative too, in like groups, if everybody wants that experience. So, excuse me, they maybe will have like a dinner inside one of the museums, or we'll have a wedding at a museum. We're talking about the weddings. And so they can have the wedding and the reception right there at the museum.
And it's pretty much, nothing's off the table. I mean, there are probably certain things, obviously, that you can't do. But, if people have ideas, it's good for them to just give you a call and say, hey, we need this. We're looking for this.
We've got a partner that has zip lining, and I've heard a rumor that they're going to be doing a zip lining wedding here yet this summer. Now, I don't know how that's going to work, whether the guy that's doing the girl that's doing the officiating has to be on a bicycle or I don't know, but it does lend itself to some interesting photography opportunities.
I hope the bride's wearing pants.
Yes, I mean, as well. Yeah, but we have all kinds of experiences, all kinds of opportunities. And we work with, again, group tours. We work with individual consumers. We have groups of golfers. We have travel writers. We have homeschool groups. Yep. I mean, nothing is really off the table when it comes to who we will market to. Because, again, the pandemic has changed so much. People want that experience. They want to be able to take their kids back home and say, okay, what did we learn from this? Or grandma and grandpa want to take the kids and the grandkids. Okay, let's do some, bonding here as a family. Now, they don't really use the word bonding. They really don't, because that would be, weird. But what they say is, let's get to know each other. Let's play some games. Let's teach our grandkids how to play poker, things like that.
Yeah, teach your grandkids. My mom taught my kids how to play poker. Absolutely.
Julie's laughing because I taught my grandboys how to play poker. As soon as
she takes their money.
And I take their money.
I will take their money.
Yeah, my kids would go to school and they'd say, "What did you do on your summer vacation?" And they'd say, "Oh, we played poker with grandma."
Yeah, exactly what they're saying.
I love it. Well, we're going to take a break here for the news, but I want to make sure when we come back, we'll talk about Fort Lawrence because that's a big deal.
I've got some new news on Fort Lawrence.
Oh, great! That's awesome. So we will come back, and again, we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and we're talking about the Tuscarawas County Convention and Visitors Bureau here on Spotlight on WHB.
Discover the unexpected in Tuscarawas County, Ohio, the other side of Amish country. From sipping local wines to exploring historic sites, we're full of surprises. Experience charming train rides, delicious local flavors, and outdoor adventures that'll create unforgettable memories. Whether you're touring local wineries or stepping back in time, there's something here for everyone. Start planning your perfect getaway at TravelTusc.com.
High school, college, first real job, maybe even your first marriage. That sounds like the 70s. And so does this.
Sundown, you better take care. Come on like a dream.
The 70s were a time of great discovery. Let's relive some of those moments in music as Larry Hackenberg and Jennifer Toussaint present the Music Time Machine.
I'm living in the 70s.
Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. right here on 1480 WHBC.
Let's go. You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Let's go.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure. Dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow. With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliate. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems like snoring, aches and pains, hot sleep, or even an old saggy mattress that can keep you up at night. And our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Medicine Center pharmacies have been serving our local community for over 40 years. Our customers know they can count on our pharmacy staff, save money, and trust us. Stop by any of our Medicine Center pharmacy locations in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia, or visit us online at medshoprx.com.
Make a splash this summer with clean, soft water from Verndale Water Experts. Call 330-455-9466 or visit verndalewater.com. Verndale Pure Water, Pure Summer.
WHBC AM 10, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, it's Navy Week in Columbus. The capital city, just one of 15 cities selected to host Navy Week in honor of the Navy's 250th anniversary. 50 to 60 sailors will come to Columbus to take part in community projects, educational outreach, and service projects. All of the events leading into this weekend's Columbus Air Show at Rickenbacker International Airport, featuring the U.S. Navy Blue Angels. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends children ages 6 months to 23 months receive a COVID-19 vaccine, contrary to federal health officials. The AAP's recommendation for childhood immunization includes COVID, flu, and RSV vaccines for those aged 18 and younger. That's diverging from the CDC's guidance. The AAP also suggests COVID vaccination for Americans under the age of 18 at high risk. CDC had shifted to a shared clinical decision-making model for vaccinating children, leaving the decision to parents and doctors following Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s announcement. And in sports, the Cleveland Guardians lost to the Arizona Diamondbacks late last night, 6-5. Tanner Bybee gave up 4 runs in that game. Guardians and the Diamondbacks will play a day game today. First pitch will be at 3:40 this afternoon, and you'll hear it right here on 1480 WHBC. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Today will be warm with a mix of clouds and some sunshine, but watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm. The temperature will reach a high of 88. Expect partly cloudy skies and humidity tonight with isolated thunderstorms possible and a low of 69. Tomorrow, anticipate clouds giving way to some sunshine with a chance of a thunderstorm in a few areas and muggy conditions. The high temperature will be 78. On Thursday, the weather will be partly sunny with a chance of showers in some areas and a high of 81. The AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
All right, we are back. It is a Spotlight on 1480 WHBC. I'm Pam Cook. And again, we are live on Facebook right now, live on our YouTube channel. And we have with us Dee Grossman and Julie Levengood. Dee is the director of the Tuscarawas County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Julie, group tour manager. And so much happening, so much going on. We haven't even scratched the surface, so to speak, yet. But I do want to make sure that we talk about the rebuilding of Fort Lawrence. Dee, maybe you can kind of fill us in on that.
So you just said the word, scratch the surface. Archaeology is going on as we speak. They do have public archaeology displays every other Saturday, but they have been finding nails, bullets, some buttons, all kinds of interest. Now, remember, this has already been archaeologically excavated during the 1970s in anticipation of the 200th anniversary. So to go even further and deeper is absolutely amazing. What's going to happen at Fort Lawrence is as they excavate and they find something, they're going to replace that. For instance, they have found where the original 1778 flagpole was. They found the wood down there and they have replaced that flagpole and the flag, which would be the colonial flag. As we move forward and around the bastions and the side walls, they're going to start replacing those walls at some point here in the next 2 years. Now, remember, Fort Lawrence's 250th anniversary would be in 2028. So as we celebrate our 250, they're in the process of celebrating their 250 2 years from next year. So keep that in mind. So as they move the archaeology forward, they are going to be putting the logs in the ground where they find those logs. So that's exciting, number one. Number two, they're going to be doing some work on the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. That will be accomplished yet this year, and will probably promo and or, I want to say ribbon cutting. That's not really the right word for a tomb, but they will preview that in July of next year. And that will entail cleaning up the tomb, so there's a gas inside of every tomb that keeps everything from degrading. They have to replace that gas and all of the gaskets and clean all of that up. And then the second phase will be the museum itself. We're going to get a complete interior facelift. We are so hopeful, fingers crossed, that they're going to be adding an educational classroom to Fort Lawrence. If you've ever been inside there, it's quite small. It's a circular building. There is a small theater that holds about 45 people. But once you get 45 or 50 people in there, it's pretty crowded. So we're hoping to get an educational classroom added to that building. We're kind of unsure of that because there's never been archaeology done on the other side of the museum. We know where the fort outline is, and they've done extensive archaeology there, but we've never actually done it on the other side. We know there was a hospital on that side. So remember, during the 1700s, hospitals were kept outside of the main campus of the fort because they weren't sure what caused bacteria and death. And so that hospital was on the outside. There's also several headstones out that way as well. So we've done some extensive work up there, ground penetrating radar, actual archaeology. Now, this is the second or third time that we've done archaeology. So it's pretty gosh darn exciting. I just have to tell you, to actually be rebuilding a fort that we've been talking about now for, well, actually there was legislation in 1917 that told the legislature to earmark $43,000 to rebuild the fort. So we've really had over 100 years of this planning and process. Remember, 1917, $43,000, that was a lot of money. It won't really touch much today.
And I'll remind folks who are listening before, Julie, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but just, if you hop on 77 and head south to the Bolivar exit, you go right to Fort Lawrence, you go left to Zor.
Yes.
It's fabulous. So if you're thinking about making that trip down there.
And we have so much history right in that exit there. So you've got Fort Lawrence, which was 1777 to 1778. And then you've got Zor Village, which was part of the canal area, which was the early 1800s. That was the most successful German commune at the time. It lasted 90 years. And those houses, they're not recreations. Those are original 1800 houses. There's about 177 population in the village of Zor, which is about what it was in the 1800s. It's a fantastic study of keeping your history alive. It also is a National Historic Landmark.
Yeah, one of my favorite places to go to.
Yeah, it's
really, as I say, it's really great because you can walk from Fort Lawrence to Zor on that towpath trail.
Oh,
yeah,
you can go right over 77 and
2.6 miles.
Yeah.
You can walk it. I'm not walking it.
People ride
a
bikes
bicycle,
too, right?
You can actually take a horse across there. It is an equestrian bridge as well.
Wow. So see, it's all connected. There's so much to talk about. And as you said, all the things at Fort Lawrence, and they get ready to celebrate. That's pretty fantastic. So the other thing about Tuscarawas County that many people know and realize is that it's the gateway to Amish country. And boy, that's endless. the things that you can see there, right?
Right. Yeah. We call ourselves the Gateway because if you get off at the Dover exit, which is State Route 39, and you hang a right or head west, you'll go into Sugar Creek, which is pretty much the start. You'll get to the Dutch Valley Complex or Dutch Corp Complex, which includes the Star Theater. They are currently running Road to Damascus. That theater seats about 525. It's a lovely theater. And then there's the Dutch Valley Restaurant and the Carlisle Village Inn. And then you go on into Sugar Creek, where the world's largest cuckoo clock is located. That has a long, long history of preservation and was actually at the restaurant in Wilmot. And then they took it out of the restaurant and they stored it on somebody's field. There you go. Yep. They stored it on someone's field for a decade, and it really became in a state of disrepair. And it was at that time that the mayor of Sugar Creek said, no, I think we need to fix this. So he and a bunch of volunteers hand painted and hand fixed and got everything working, every mechanical thing working. And it runs every half hour. You can see those are the Hilltop Dancers right there. They come out and they dance and they play their musical instruments every half an hour. So it's
on the clock, cool. not the people on the bench.
Yeah, not the people on the bench. Although I've seen people dancing with the music. So
we always have guests and visitors that'll stand there and they'll wait and they've got their phones ready because they'll record that, and it's fantastic. I mean, every half hour you see a crowd gathering.
And right above the clock, there's a little hole where the cuckoo literally comes out, and the cuckoo does a cuckoo. It's I think it's quite endearing. I love it.
It is. I love it too. And honestly, for folks who are wondering, if you're watching us live on Facebook or YouTube, we're describing the picture. There's a picture of the cuckoo clock, and there's actually some real human beings sitting in front of it. Yeah. So that's what we're referring to.
There always are people there.
Oh, I could imagine that would be just very peaceful almost,
So then when you leave then Sugar Creek and you continue to head west, you do end up into Holmes County, which does have the largest population of Amish. In what I've heard is pretty much the United States, because some of the Lancaster folks are moving over here, but they're always migrating. So I'm not sure what the population is, but it's a large population. Between Holmes County, Tuscarawas County, and Wayne County, you do have the largest concentration of Amish in the world.
And what's really great is there's a museum right there, just right across from the cuckoo clock. It's called the Alpine Hills Museum, and they are run on donations. So you can go in there and see really a lot of the history of Sugar Creek, but a lot of Swiss history. Why we had so many people, kind of migrating to that area, and how they kind of set up their families, and really it's probably 3 floors. Of local history. It's fantastic. If you've got homeschool groups, if you've got kids that you want to take out, and it's very interactive, and they do such a fantastic job of keeping that history alive.
They have a cheese making display. They have a typesetting display. So the Budget newspaper is one of the oldest newspapers in the United States, and its circulation is growing as opposed to most other hard copy newspapers. And so you can see what typesetting entailed back in the early 1900s. They have a Elkhorn display, and they have an Amish bonnet display. So you can actually see the differences between the different groups of Amish within the state of Ohio. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah. And I learned about Amish country when I was attending football games. My sons went to Sandy Valley, so we went down to Garraway. We went down, we went to just Holmes County and got to see a game. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I was relatively new to the area, and I was just amazed by it. And I kept thinking to myself, over the years, the ability to go down there and stay there for the weekend, or and spend some time. We all like to eat and shop. I mean, and go to the theater if you want to, the museums. I mean, there's just that perfect opportunity to do that, right?
Right. And we truly have something for everybody.
And it's really great. At Ohio Star Theater, the production they're doing, Dee mentioned Road to Damascus. That's an original production. So you're not going to see that anyplace else. They worked really hard to create their own. They used to run Blue Gate musicals. Last year they did Ruth, which was a sight and sound musical. And then they went ahead and they wrote their own. And so, this is really the only place you can see this show. But, everyone loves going there all year long, really. We talked about fall, but it's busy all year long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take our final break, and we have a lot more things to get to when we come back. Again, we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and we're talking about all the wonderful things you can do and see in Tuscarawas County. So stay tuned to News Talk 1480 WHBC.
High school football should be our middle name.
It's great to be part of Stark County football.
Only on 1480 WHBC.
High school football returns for our 81st season. Thursday, it's Perry at Central on 1480 WHBC. Sandy Valley at Perilous, streaming on WHBCSports.com. Friday, Glenville at Maslin on 1480 WHBC, beginning with the All Care Stadium show at 6. Over at Glen Oaks, streaming on WHBCSports.com. And our YouTube Game of the Week live from Hoover. It's the Vikings hosting Book Tool.
It's going to be loud. It's going to be fun.
Thank you, WHBC, for everything that you do for high school sports.
This is Pro Football Hall of Famer Lynn Swan. High school football on WHBC.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1 day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Most insurance accepted.
Discover the unexpected in Tuscarawas County, Ohio, the other side of Amish country. From sipping local wines to exploring historic sites, we're full of surprises. Experience charming train rides, delicious local flavors, and outdoor adventures that'll create unforgettable memories. Whether you're touring local wineries or stepping back in time, there's something here for everyone. Start planning your perfect getaway at TravelTusc.com.
You think you know the odds? Picture this. You're at the gas station grabbing 4 delicious taquitos when you see an Ohio lottery ticket with 1 in 4 odds. You think, if I buy 4 in a row, one's a definite win. Sorry, friend, but you'd be wrong. 1 in 4 odds means across the millions of tickets printed, 1 in every 4 is a winner, but not every 4th ticket since they're randomly distributed across the state. But 4 taquitos? That's a guaranteed win, 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 win. Learn more about common lottery myths at ohiolottery.com/knowtheodds. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Start healing sooner. When you need surgery, we're here for you. Here to help you put aside the excuses so you don't put off the surgery you need any longer. Altman is here with more board-certified surgeons in more locations close to home. State-of-the-art robot-assisted surgeries, along with a wide scope of surgical procedures and treatments. All here for you. And all here at Altman.
Hello friends, this is Father Ovi inviting you to the 2025 Romanian Festival at St. George Romanian Byzantine Catholic Cathedral, Sunday, August 24th from noon to 7 p.m. on 44th Street Northeast in Canton. Join us for delicious homemade Romanian food and pastries, beers, joyful music and dancing, kids' activities, and a celebration of faith and culture. Start your day with Divine Liturgy at noon, celebrated by Bishop John Michael Botin. Bring your family and experience the heart of Romania right here in Canton.
Tune in each Saturday morning at 8 a.m. for the Money Matters radio show. Find out how today's economy, debt levels, and policies affect your hard-earned money. You've made your money. Now it's time to watch it grow. Tune in to the hour-long Money Matters radio show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC. To speak to Bob Vowdy or Dave Ryan about your money matters, call New Horizon Financial Group in Canton at 330-499-1915. 330-499-1915.
1480 WHBC is a Stark County original, and while we celebrate our 100 years, we also want to recognize other Stark County businesses like Kathy Cowgill Flowers. The Cowgill family has been providing remarkable flowers for Stark County since 1909. Stop by Kathy Cowgill Flowers on Hills and Dales Road Northwest, a locally owned brick and mortar. They're a proud recipient of Canton's Best Florist several times thanks to a design team that can create the perfect arrangements.
Hello, it's Craig Sanders from Progressive Chevrolet in Massillon. Listen to this Progressive Power Buy.
This month, every vehicle in stock has been marked down with massive Power Buy discounts. First is a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT 4x4. Take $17,000 off MSRP. Yes, that's 17 grand off a new Silverado 4-wheel drive with a 2015 or newer trade-in. Or buy a new 2025 Chevy Equinox LT and take $7,000 off MSRP with your 2015 or newer trade. Find massive discounts like this and more at ProgressiveChevrolet.com. Again, new Silverado 4x4, $17,000 off. New Equinox LT, $7,000 off. Together, let's drive.
Shop Progressive Chevrolet in Massillon.
Call 833-853-3094 for offer details. Stock number C25-423 and C25-087. MSRP $55,595 and $33,275. Offer ends upon sale of eligible vehicles.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And we were back on Spotlight on 1480 WHBC on this Wednesday. And we have been talking all fun things to do and really informational and entertaining and just so many different words to describe it in Tuscarawas County. But and I have with me, of course, Dee Grossman, who is the director of the Tuscarawas CVB, and also Julie Levengood, Group Tour Manager. So I'm going to ask you about two things, then you guys can bring up whatever you want to finish up with, because I know there's still a big long list of things we could be talking about. But two of my favorite things. First of all, the drive-in, the Lynn Drive-In. It's a old, and if you've never taken your kids to a drive-in, this is a perfect place to go.
Oh, I love the drive-in. It's right there on 250 in Strasburg. Easy peasy for folks from Stark County to get to. It is one of the last remaining drive-in theaters in the nation. You can bring your own food in. They do have a concession stand with lots of good stuff, but they play first-run movies. They are going to be featured. Can I tell them this little secret, Julie?
A little tease.
Oh, okay. All right. So we are working on some really interesting photos for the 250. And we convinced the owner of the 250, or to the owner of the Lynn Drive-In, to put a 250 marquee up. And we did get some photo work done yesterday with some antique cars in front of that Lynn Drive-In marquee. So look for those here pretty soon. But I love it up there. It's so much fun. It's so reminiscent of my childhood, which wasn't that long ago, right, Julie?
Yes.
Yes. Hey, we're gonna run out of time. So if we forget to say this, our offices are open 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, but we have a visitor kiosk here in the building. You can access that 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. All of our visitors guides, all of our local information is out there. We have a lot of realtors who show homes on Sundays, so they stop and access that kiosk. We also have a display of Fort Lawrence. If you want to see what the fort did look like in 1777, stop in. We'll explain it to you. And we just had a new timeline, a 3-panel, 12-foot by 8-foot timeline installed, which goes from 1750 up to the massacre at Janatenhutton, which we haven't even begun to talk about yet, which was 1782. So that is a 30-minute read if you sit and you read every panel, but it describes why Tuscarawas County was important during the Revolutionary War, what happened, why Fort Lawrence is where it was, the significance of the fur trade in that time period, and again, why Tuscarawas County is exactly where it was, and why all of our history kind of flows from that. There's actually a photo of the Civil War reenactment, which is coming up in Zoragan this year. They do that every other year because they have literally thousands of people that attend that, and that's coming up in September.
And I also want to mention, in addition to that weekend, that's going to run the 20th and 21st. On the 19th is their Civil War School Days, and that's open to, traditional students or homeschool students. We talked a little bit about the homeschool sector. We have an actual website. It's called Destination Learning Tusc, TUSC.com, and that is focused on those traditional and non-traditional educational opportunities. With Civil War School Days, they probably get, what would you say, Dee, probably about 2,000 kids through there that day. It's
2,000.
Yeah.
Kids, screaming kids,
Yes.
saying, look at that uniform, look at that gun, look at that cannon. Oh, it's pure pandemonium and craziness.
And it's wonderful. And so many of our history sites have that. And there's just so much history here. I said before, you can't even talk about it all in 7 minutes. We can't discuss it all in an hour. There's just so much to see and do, so much Ohio history, but U.S. history here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a ton. There's so much. I mean, so many different things that we haven't mentioned, but give us the website where folks can go if they want to kind of check things out.
Travel Tusc, TUSC.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see links to our lodging properties, our history, things to do. Go to our museums. One of the new things that we have is under the Jeanette Hutton site, we have an audio recording of sort of the last night on Earth for the Native Americans prior to the Jeanette Hutton massacre. It's only about 45 seconds, but it'll give you a good idea of how it was during that time frame. So we're going to start doing some work down at Jeanette Hutton as well. We're going to do some ground censoring radar. We want to see what's there, and it's going to be very interesting.
And if you want to see that story, it's such a monumental occurrence in our nation's history, and it's an unfortunate occurrence, but Trumpet in the Land, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that. Trumpet in the Land is the official state play of Ohio. It's Ohio's drama.
And you've got one more weekend. They're going to be finishing up.
We got one more weekend. I thought, okay, cool. So we got one more weekend. Sorry, there's so many dates that go through our heads.
I know. Crazy.
It tells the story of Schönbrunn, and what's so wonderful is you can go through Schönbrunn Village and you can see these recreations on the original foundations. They've done archaeology there as well. And then you can go to Jeanette, and then you can see that story come to life. Yeah. And really, you're a mile away from Schönbrunn Village. So you're sitting there under the stars, hearing their story on their ground. And it's very powerful. It's, again, it's our nation's history. Schönbrunn already had their 250th.
Yeah.
This area has had people in it and being developed way before the United States even started.
Well, thank you, ladies. So much to talk about. I know we could go on for another hour, more than likely, but I appreciate you stopping by today for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Discover the unexpected in Tuscarawas County, Ohio, the other side of Amish country. From sipping local wines to exploring historic sites, we're full of surprises. Experience charming train rides, delicious local flavors, and outdoor adventures that'll create unforgettable memories. Whether you're touring local wineries or stepping back in time, there's something here for everyone. Start planning your perfect getaway at TravelTusc.com.
Hello, it's